But this afternoon, President Biden will mark 1 year since the massacre in Uvalde, Texas, with a speech honoring the victims. Last year, 19 fourth-grade students and 2 teachers were killed by an 18-year-old gunman inside Robb Elementary School. 17 others were seriously injured. The shooter legally bought both of the AR-style rifles that he had with him just days before the attack. Families of Uvalde victims have fought tirelessly for new gun safety laws since the tragedy. Many have made the 2.5-hour drive to the state capitol in Austin several times to plead with lawmakers to pass legislation. One of the bills they have pushed hardest for is HB 2744, which would raise the minimum age to buy assault-style rifles like the one that was used at Robb Elementary from 18 to 21 years old. Last month, family members waited hours to get a chance to testify after lawmakers adjourned a committee meeting on the measure to go to the House floor.
I arrived here today at 8 a.m. And as we waited more than 13 hours, I'm reminded of May 24th, 2022, when we waited hours to be told our daughter would never come home. I expressed confusion then, and I'm perplexed now. Did you think we would go home?
Thoughts and prayers. I'm so sick of hearing those 3 words from our elected officials. While your prayers may have comforted you, they did nothing to absolve our pain. While you may think about May 24th, we live it every single day. While you pray that your children grow up to be healthy and happy, contributing members of society, we pray that our children knew we were doing everything we could to get to them in that school to protect them. Your thoughts and prayers didn't stop an 18-year-old from purchasing 2 high-powered semi-automatic rifles and all of those rounds of ammunition. Your thoughts and prayers didn't stop us from having to bury our children and 2 teachers. Your thoughts and prayers do not help the children that survived, that were injured. Your thoughts and prayers haven't done anything in the 329 days since Uzziah was shot through his stomach, exiting his spine. Your thoughts and prayers are useless unless you have thought and prayed for legislation that you can help enact that could change this.
A little over 2 weeks later, Uvalde families were packed in a small conference room as a subcommittee advanced the so-called Raise the Age bill to the full House. But that victory was short-lived. The next day, the Republican-controlled House failed to put the bill on its agenda, effectively killing it. Unless a special session is called, the Texas legislative session will end on Monday, and it won't reconvene until 2025. So far, only 2 gun safety-related measures have passed. One requires courts to report involuntary mental health hospitalizations of juveniles aged 16 and older to the federal gun background check system. The other restricts straw purchases, which is when a person buys a gun for another person who is not allowed to have a gun. Both of those bills are already federal laws. Joining us now, Republican Congressman Tony Gonzalez of Texas. Uvalde is part of his district. Congressman, it is heart-wrenching to hear what these parents continue to go through just to get anything done. Are the children in Uvalde, and quite frankly across Texas, any safer than they were a year ago today?
Good morning, and thank you for having me, and I'm happy to get into the debate. I'd like to start by talking about the Uvalde community. And while we are healing, it's going to be a long time before we are whole again, we are also very hopeful. And one of the things that I think back to is when I hosted President Biden the very first Sunday after the Uvalde shooting, what we did, we went to Mass, and the Archbishop was there. And one of the things that the Archbishop did is he called all the children in the church to come up, and there was over over 60 children that came up, and he reminded everybody at Mass, to include the president and myself, that we are going to heal through our children. I attended the very first football game that Uvalde had, and there was over 5,000 people in the stands. And there was one individual in particular that was wearing the number 21 to signify, the honoring the 21 victims that were killed. And that game was so electric. The Uvalde school had an amazing season. I tell you those two stories because the only way we heal is if we come together, we unite, and we build forward. When a tragedy like Uvalde happens, they don't kill, these madmen don't kill Democrat children or Republican children. They just kill our children. Is there more that we need to do? Absolutely. And I'm happy to get into that. But I wanted to share those two stories with your audience.
Yeah. No, thank you very much for doing that. And I know also you're working to try and you've helped pass gun safety legislation. You've supported gun safety legislation, and you've been censured by your own party. Tell us about that. And what do you want to say to those who censured you that maybe you feel they are missing in this overall argument over the safety of our nation's children?
We are in a very divided political environment right now. You have people on one side and people on the other. A lot of folks demonize one another. I've never viewed the world that way. I spent 20 years in the military bringing people together to solve problems, and I was very proud to have supported the bipartisan Safer's Community Act. And since that piece of legislation was signed into law, there's been over 160 cases of minors that had mental health issues that were prevented from purchasing a firearm. I've spoken with individuals that sell firearms, and they tell me, hey, Tony, I don't want people that are deranged to purchase firearms. This was something that I think is an important piece of legislation. Also, we invested the most in mental health in our nation's history. But until that money leaves Washington, D.C. and makes it into our schools, it doesn't exist. One of the issues that I've had is there's been 6 of my communities, city of Castroville, the city of Marfa, Bexar County in San Antonio, El Paso County, were denied Department of Justice COPS grants. And I've had a discussion with the Attorney General to how do we fix that. And you know what? Him and his office have been very helpful in that. What I say is the fight isn't over. There is much that has to be done. And until our children are safe in our schools, nothing can happen. I will say one other thing before turning it over is today, myself and Representative Moskowitz from Florida, Parkland, Florida, we started a bipartisan school safety and security caucus. I think this is important. This is an area where we can bring people and have a frank discussion on how we keep our children safe in school.
Well, that's good news, Congressman. I want to add my condolences again to your community today, if you'll pass them along. And as you said, you served 20 years in the United States Navy, Iraq and Afghanistan among your stops there. We're grateful for your service. You have seen real-life war zones. You've worked in them. You've lived in them. And now some of our schools, like Robb Elementary School or Sandy Hook or the little Christian school in Nashville a couple of months ago, have become effectively war zones like the kind you might see there. So talk us through a little bit about this bipartisan effort, because there's so much frustration that, well, here's another day, another school shooting. How do we begin to bring this to an end?
First, we can't allow this to be normal. This can't be, it's just another shooting. And we also can't think it can't happen to us. I mean, we never thought Uvalde would happen, small rural community, but the world has changed. And we have to, how do we come up with solutions? I get it. There's a lot of people that want certain things, and they have fought very actively for that. And I encourage that. I'm of the mindset, I look at it through the lens of what can we get accomplished in the 118th Congress today? What are some things that this Congress can do today to make our kids more safe? I think that starts with mental health. How do you get ahead of a problem before it happens? Also, what about the teachers? Mr. Reyes is the teacher that survived that classroom. I met with him a couple weeks ago. I will meet with him again this morning. What about the teachers? Teachers are no longer just teachers. They're social workers, they're coaches, they're mentors. How do we help them? Where do they go for help? So I think there's a lot of problems that we can devote our energy towards. I'm more focused on in a bipartisan solution. Once again, when tragedy happens, it's not Republican kids or Democrat kids, it's our kids.
Republican Congressman Tony Gonzalez of Texas, thank you very much for coming on the show this morning.
Thank you for having me.